Hi all, today's video, stop blaming yourself for how your kids are turning out. This video is to help you to stop overwhelming yourself and to help you to be able to stay in your feminine energy so that you have this radiant, happy, attractive energy that your family is going to love, that is going to attract your husband, and that your kids is going to love, and that will even help you in parenting them better. So one of the things that drain women is stress. One of the things that can kick you out of your feminine energy, dysregulate you, is too much stress. And a major way wives experience stress, especially when you are mothers, is through parenting. Is when we worry about our children, how we are raising them, how they are turning out. We worry so much about not wounding them, about not traumatizing them. So we are always censoring ourselves and making sure we are not saying anything traumatizing, which is good. But also, we also go a step further to start censoring the children, looking at all their behaviors and trying to make sure that we correct every flaw that we see. We freak out when we see a child display anything we consider to be negative. We quickly go into, oh, my child did this, that means I must have traumatized her. Oh, she didn't speak up confidently, that means it's because of the way I criticize her. It's my fault. I did this, I did that. So at the end of the day, you end up being under a lot of stress because you are hyper vigilant about the way your children are behaving and you need to correct every behavior. And while it may be true that certain behaviors can wound a child, can traumatize a child, I mean, we have all experienced it. We had childhoods we had to heal from. Some of us are still on our healing journey. And I guess that's even the more reason why we are hyper vigilant, because we know what we had to go through. We know what we had to do to start feeling good enough. So we really do not want our children to go through the same thing. So while that may be true, there are a couple of things that we need to know if we really want to succeed in parenting and in our marriage. So one of the things to know is that your children are their own individual. They are individual being that no matter what you do, no matter how well you raise them, no matter the guidance you give them, they are going to have their own individuality, which means some things are just going to be different about them. So you might have, that's why you have two children, you raise them the same way, give them the same resources, and you find out that one child can cook better than the other, or one child is more respectful more than the other, or one child is excelling academically more than the other, because there are individual differences. There are certain things that is in their DNA that no matter how you guide them or how you correct them, it's part of how God has created them. Every child has their own codero. Their journey from birth to death has been predestined. The experience they're going to have. So even if you did do something that hurts them or wound them, it's part of their codero. You can only do your best, and then every other thing is predestined. And I do not say this to excuse irresponsibility. I say this because it's the reality. You are on your journey, and everything that you had to go through was part of your journey. And sometimes things that hurt you in the past are turned out to be a source of blessing in your life or a source of gift in your life. So it's the reality that we all have our predestination, the thing that has been destined that will go through. So you don't have to be too hard on yourself for every mistake that you have made. You don't have to blame yourself for every mistake that you have made. You just have to learn from it and do better next time. Also, children also have their own free will, which is tied to what God has destined for their journey to be. So your guidance and disciplines is going to be received in different ways by your children. You may have a hard time getting a child to follow a particular instruction, but not struggle as much with another child because they have their own free will. So I'm saying this so that you will begin to see and you begin to know that not everything is your fault. Because when you make everything your fault, you overwhelm yourself, you stress yourself. And this is usually coming from a sense of over responsibility. You feel responsible for everything. You feel responsible for all mistakes, all flaws that you see in your children, while in reality, some of the flaws you see is just part of their DNA, is who they are, is the flaw that they have. You don't have to be really hard on yourself. You just have to be able to do your best in terms of guidance and parenting and discipline. And after you've done your best, you have to be able to accept and love your child, the version that your child is presenting with. The version that your child will present with is a combination of the training you have given them, the discipline you are giving them, their free will, their DNA, and what Allah has wished for them. So your most important task as a mother is to be able to love your child unconditionally, even when they are not like 100% how you will want them to be. So your most important task is the love and nurture, is that I accept you the way you are, is to be able to make each child feel accepted, even when they know that they are different, even when child A knows that I'm not as brilliant or I'm not excelling as my sister. So you want them to feel accepted, regardless of what their flaws are, regardless of what their shortcomings are, and that would be like your most important job. So what this tells you is that no matter how good you are as a mother, as a parent, you're going to see traces in your children that you don't like, that you don't want. In all of your children, none of your children is going to be like 100% perfect. And if you have a child that is like 100% perfect the way you want it, then that child is going to struggle in life, because it means that that child didn't learn how to be an individual, didn't grow up feeling like there is space for her own individuality, there is space for her to be authentic, and that child will grow through life trying to adjust to please other people. When you try to create this child that is like perfect, like you try to correct every of your children's mistake, like you're so on edge and you cannot just see something they do wrong without feeling that angst, feeling that guilt, feeling that blame, and then that blame, guilt will drive you into wanting to eradicate it immediately. Even things that you're supposed to take lightly, you're not supposed to take seriously, becomes a serious matter, because you'll be like, did she just do this? If my daughter should do this, that means there must be something wrong with me as a mother. I am not good enough. I need to fix it so that I feel good enough. And then you pressurize the child. It looks to you like what you're doing is for the child, but what you're doing is actually for you. It's because you don't know how to deal with your own feeling of not feeling good enough, of not healing yourself, because every fault, everything your child do wrong shouldn't make you feel not good enough. So when you become hyper with your children, you're going to become very critical. You're going to be correcting them all the time, until they will start feeling like there's nothing they can do right. They will start feeling like they are not good enough, because everything they do you don't like. So they start feeling like they're not good enough. And that's how the wounding you're trying so hard to prevent happens. So what do? The best thing is to start healing the part of you that feels overly responsible, that is freaking out the moment she sees anything wrong, that feels like she needs to fix everything. Everything is her fault. Everything is a responsibility to fix. That's who needs to be healed. You need to heal that part of you and love that part of you unconditionally. And then you need to extend that unconditional love to your children. So when children feel accepted and unconditionally love, it gives them the permission to be secure and to thrive and to even be better than you imagine. I know this has been a lot to unpack. So if you want to explore this further with me, I'm going to leave a link to my calendar where you can book a free clarity call. Also, if you are struggling with over functioning, over responsibility, or being able to be in your feminine energy so that you can create love, attraction, peace, and friendship in your marriage, book a call with me and let's schedule a time to talk.